Hello, I'm Colin Sullivan.
And I'm Melissa Dixon.
And this is Almost Live, a weekly show designed to give you the who's who and what's what of Telluride and Mountain Village.
And brand new this week, we'll have a new fitness series, FU, for Fuel Up, of course, with Becca and Ryan from Fuel.
Catherine Warren is back with her Warren Commission. She's going to sit down with Alyssa and talk about the local music and entertainment scene. And then we're going to have a new segment of device advice from the Wilkinson Public Library, followed by a new yoga pose from Barbara. And then we're going to cap it all off with the wine geek food freak, Mr. Patrick Legans, who's going to show us how to make a lovely Brussels sprout dish.
And for special interviews this week, we'll have longtime local Denise Mongan to tell us about her life and times in Telluride and what's coming up at Club Red this winter. Followed by Telluride Ski and Golf Company CEO Bill Jensen to tell us about what he's excited about with the mountain this year.
We're going to go not so way back with our retro ride today with Mr. Gus Kenworthy, Telluride's own Olympic athlete and native son. And then we're going to have a new Miners Minute from the Telluride Historical Museum. Now, let's go to that new segment, Fuel Up with Becca and Ryan, followed by Catherine Warren and her Warren Commission.
Hi, I'm Becca.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are Team Fuel.
And this is Fuel Up. Today we're going to give you a quick body weight burnout workout that you can really do anywhere without equipment. It just consists of basic moves. The format for this workout is pretty simple. You're going to do each exercise for 30 seconds. You're then going to rest for 30 seconds and move on to the next exercise. So since there are 4 exercises, you're going to do a total of 4 rounds. That'll be a 16-minute workout. Progress through the exercises, 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest. Pretty basic. So we're going to start with a very essential lower body movement, just a body weight squat. So the key with this thing is to try to keep your weight in the heels, not pitch too far forward. Try to not let the knees out over the toes. And to attempt to get to parallel, not everyone's going to be able to squat to parallel, and that's okay. Just go to your level. So Becca, please demonstrate basic squat. And notice that she keeps her spine nice and neutral and flat and doesn't round in the back or pitch too far forward. So 30 seconds of work right there before you rest for 30 seconds. Now we'll move on to our next exercise, which is a basic body weight plank. We're going to do this on our forearms on the floor. So this is a great core exercise. It trains your abdominals, your obliques, and it really teaches you to have tension throughout your entire body. So notice as Becca does a plank, bring your knees up please, Becca, that she is perfectly straight. Notice from the top of her head to the backs of her feet, she is a straight line. So she is taut throughout her entire body, and she's not dropping her hips towards the ground, which we don't want to see, or bridging her butt too high up in the air. Both of those are cheating the movement. Now, if that traditional plank is too much for you to hold for 30 seconds, you can modify this and make it slightly easier by either going to your hands in a push-up position, which will be a little bit easier, or the easiest position would be to actually drop your knees. And this will provide a little additional support. Still try to keep your abs tight as you're performing that movement. So those are our 2 first starting movements. Our third movement is going to be an upper body movement, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, a push-up. Now push-ups are deceivingly difficult if you do them correctly, meaning that just like the plank, we keep our core tight, we don't sag our hips or raise our butt. We try to keep our elbows in towards our body. Everything is tight as she lowers down to the ground, ideally chest to the floor, and presses herself back up. That's a good push-up. A lot of people will become very weak in the core or flare their elbows out, and we don't want to see that. We want to see a nice, tight push-up. 30 seconds.
But Ryan, what if I can't do 30 seconds?
You know, Becca, that's a great question. So if you can't do 30 seconds of push-ups, which is a lot, 2 modifications. 1, you can rest in the plank position on your hands for say 5 to 10 seconds in between push-ups. That'll be easier for you to finish the block. Otherwise, you can actually go to your knees and do push-ups from your knees, and this will be the easiest modification for the 30 seconds. So what we're going to do for our 4th exercise to finish this thing out is to combine all of those movements into one called a burpee. Now burpee is a tough exercise, but it's so good because you work explosive power, you also get core strength, you work your push-ups, your triceps, your shoulders. It's pretty much in quads, an entire body workout. So Becca's going to demonstrate this piece by piece just so you do it properly. So our first movement, Becca's going to hinge at the hips and bring her hands to the ground in a squat. Notice her back is nice and flat as she approaches this. She's trying not to round the spine too much. She's then going to kick her feet back and perform a push-up. Now here comes the explosive part. She's going to jump back up into a squat and then finish the movement with a vertical leap. That's a burpee. Becca, could you do that all together in a fluid movement for us? And just like that, that's our burpee. So again, as a reminder, you're going to do your squats for 30 seconds, rest for 30. You're going to move to your planks for 30 seconds, rest for 30. You're going to do a push-up for 30 seconds, rest for 30. And then you're going to do a burpee for 30 and rest for 30. You're going to do that whole circuit 4 times, and that should burn you out pretty good.
Ryan, do you think we should get water?
You know, Becca, I think we should. Up here at 9,000 feet, especially when you're exercising, it's important to stay hydrated. This is Fuel Up, and we really thank you for joining us today. We hope that you come back in the future and check us out for more workouts.
And now we have the ever-famous Warren Commission with Catherine Warren. Hey, Catherine.
How's it going?
Great. How have you been?
I've been good. We're gearing up for a super busy holiday weekend, but it wouldn't be Telluride without a ton of great events to catch this coming week.
Yeah.
And let's get started on Friday night at 6 p.m. Tom Nading and Claybrook Penn play. That is a tongue twister. They play at the Phoenix Bean at 6 p.m. And Friday night is also closing night in Telluride of Dude and Bro Get Real at the Sheridan Opera House. It's presented by Telluride Theater, and then they move to the Sherbino Theater in Ridgeway for Saturday and Sunday. More information online at telluridetheater.org. And on Friday and Saturday, both Friday and Saturday night, is Mind Blown at the Madeline, a magic show at Hotel Madeline every Friday and Saturday through the rest of the winter, and they have a 7 and a 9 p.m. show. And tickets are available online at mindblownmadeline.com. Another tongue twister.
Yeah, a lot of M's.
Yes. I've heard great things. Haven't made it to that show yet, but people just keep raving about it. So it'll happen one of these weekends, but y'all should check it out. And also again next Friday and Saturday. And then Saturday night as well, the Nutcracker is performing at the Palm Theater.
Yeah.
It's the Palm Arts dance. It's all the kiddos, basically.
You gotta go.
So cute. That's at 6 p.m. on Saturday and 3 p.m. on Sunday. So just like some more holiday cheer at the Palm. Yeah. And also on Saturday night, Sean Colvin, Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter. She plays at the Sheridan Opera House for sort of her holiday residency. She comes back each year, and she is such a fabulous musician and storyteller. Also on Sunday, the Sheridan Opera House has Warren Miller, their 69th ski film.
Whoa.
Feature ski film.
Whew.
And yeah, I can't believe
69th.
they've been in the business that long. Yeah.
Jeez, what's the name of it this
It's
year?
called Face of Winter, and Boot Doctors is presenting, or is a co-sponsor, and they will be giving out tons of free swag at both the 5:30 and the 8 p.m. screening. So
Awesome.
another fun holiday tradition, as well as Monday night's Christmas Eve Torchlight Parade. It is coming down the Telluride side of Telluride ski area this for Christmas Eve, and then on New Year's Eve it'll be both sides of the mountain. So keep your eyes open on Telluride Trail, just on the front side of the mountain from Telluride, around 6 p.m. It's such a beautiful thing. You almost forget about it, and then you see this trail of light coming down the mountain. It's so fun. And then no events on the 25th, except Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and yours. And then on the 26th, we have Mountain Films Winter Fundraiser. They will be screening the very popular movie from their summer festival, Science Fair, at 5 and 7:30.
It's a fabulous documentary.
Yes,
Yeah.
so excited for that one. And then if you don't make it to Mountain Film, the Telluride Theater has their holiday-themed Down Low, which you have performed at a few of them.
Yes.
It's a great storytelling event, and that's at 7 p.m. at the Black Box Theater. And then on the 27th, there is 2 different great bands, one in town and one in Mountain Village. We've got John Oates from Hall & Oates playing at the Sheridan Opera House at 8 p.m. And then at Club Red, if you want something more dancey and funky, they've got Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles at 8:30. And that is it.
Woo!
For the week.
All right, so not a lot going on.
Just a few things that you can pick from.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It all sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Storytelling, films, musicians.
Yeah.
The whole nine
that,
yards.
that time of year in Telluride.
Yeah,
so, it's
absolutely.
my favorite time of year.
Cool, Catherine. Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And next up, we have Patrick Ligans with the Wine Geek Food Freak.
Hi, I'm Patrick Legans, the Wine Geek Food Freak. I want to show you something to do with Brussels sprouts today. So I have my nice clean Brussels sprouts. I'm going to put them in my nice extra virgin olive oil already heated up. Brussels sprouts, first from the Mediterranean in the 5th century, moved up towards Brussels in the 9th. Super high in vitamin C, vitamin K. I'm then going to add some toasted pine nuts and some dried cranberries. You're picking up these holiday colors. That's kind of why I like it for the holidays. I'm going to add a pinch of sea salt, and I'm going to toss. As soon as these get seared, we'll be done. It's that simple, that quick. If you feel as though that the oil is toasting too much, you can always take a little bit of the white wine you're drinking while you're making the food and pour just a little bit in there. That's going to extend the life of the cooking time. All right, those are just about perfect right there. So this dish will pick up those beautiful sweetness from the dried cranberries, the nice toasted nutty flavor from the pine nuts, and then of course, the star of the show, some beautiful Brussels sprouts. There you have it. Enjoy. Until next time, remember all you need is good ingredients, some care, and a minute of your time, and you can eat like me, Patrick Legans, the Wine Geek Food Freak.
Welcome to Device Advice. My name's Hank.
And I'm Gloria.
And today we have a special guest, Library Tech Guru Amy Sieving.
Hi there.
And we're going to talk to you about some cool apps.
Hey Hank, do you remember when we tried that photo printer to check out at the library?
Oh my God, what a piece of junk.
Yeah, that was the worst. We tried to offer photo printing for patrons, but that thing broke in new and surprising ways every time we tried to use it. So you're not going to see it on the shelves. But as an alternative, we found this cool app called Shutterfly that lets you print unlimited photos for free. You just have to pay for shipping. So you have to order through the app, and they only charge you for shipping. I did a test order of 30 photos, and shipping was like $5 or so, so it's not too bad.
That's awesome. Did you get a photo book as well?
I did. I just ordered one, actually. There's an in-app offer right now where you can order a free photo book every month. And again, you pay for shipping, so I think this one was like $8 in shipping, but it was a free photo book.
So cool. So download that app, Shutterfly. Now I'm going to talk to you about a new streaming service we offer at the library called Canopy, where you can stream up to 5 movies a month.
Gloria, that's so cool. What kind of films?
You can stream documentary and indie flicks, Hank.
They have foreign films and lots of Spanish titles as well.
Eso me gusta.
If you have any questions, please stop by the library. Thank you for tuning in to Device Advice.
See you next time.
And we're back with CEO of Telluride Ski and Golf, Bill Jensen. Bill, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, guys. It's enjoyable to be here.
Yeah, so it's shaping up to be a great year on the mountain, it seems like.
You know, we had a great start in October with natural snowfall, particularly up high. So places like Gold Hill, Chair 12 really benefited from that. Yeah. But in November, our snowfall totals were less, and we really had to convert back to our snowmaking expertise and talent. and we've been working aggressively with that, and we're really targeting trying to complete all our snowmaking activities by the end of December.
Wow. Yeah, I know a lot of my friends work for the snowmaking team, and you guys have some of the hardest workers out there.
Those guys, that is an incredibly intense job in difficult conditions. We've really invested in technology over the years, and it's certainly made it a bit easier than perhaps it was a decade ago, but it still requires a lot of perseverance to get that accomplished. But we're having success. I think tomorrow we'll have Telluride Trail open, which down into town, which for the community and for the ski area, to have that open on December 19th, well before Christmas, is a real accomplishment and a credit to that team.
Yeah.
We've been making snow over in the mid sections of Sundance and Double Cabins and the Galloping Goose to get ski in, ski out access for all those homes and have Chair 10 open, and we're targeting that still for this weekend, Saturday and maybe Sunday for Chair 10 to get that open. So that's a big one. And then we still want to get back to Chair 5 and do a little more work on Polar Queen and Sheridan Headwall. And then the terrain park, which we've been working on and having that come together. And then kind of our signature send-off to snowmaking is doing Milk Run. Which is everybody's favorite, including one of mine.
Is it?
So, I really think that the fall line there and the pitch and the eastern exposure, the view and the sun in the morning, it's just an incredible run to ski. So those are the things that we're finalizing and working on over literally the next 7 to maybe 13 or 14 days, and hopefully we'll be finished with snowmaking, and we'll be looking to Mother Nature to do her job and bring this along.
Keep it flowing, yeah. And I mean, the ski resort has been getting some incredible accolades. The Condé Nast, Forbes. Tell us a little bit about, the recognition. It's super exciting. I mean, it's my favorite ski resort in all the land, but I'm biased.
And I want to say, in fairness, it really is accolades for the Telluride community, and the ski resort is part of that. But Telluride is such a special experience for all our guests, and it's the town, it's the scenery, it's the ski mountain. And as a group, we put all that together. I'm really pleased. When you think of Condé Nast, we don't have. It's a voted piece. Several 100,000 people vote.
Wow.
And the fact that Telluride has received that acknowledgement or that honor 6 of the last 7 years as the #1 resort destination is really important. And then the Forbes piece, it's interesting. They have an algorithm that they use to determine which, now we're back kind of to the resort side, though I'll talk a little bit about Telluride's role in that as well. They use an algorithm based on snowfall, based on terrain, based on a lot of things. And, we moved up this year from #4 to #2. In theirs, and it's a North American model. So Jackson Hole was one, and Telluride was a strong second in that. And then the list works down. Colorado as a whole did well in their top 10 ranking, but it's nice to see Telluride. I was happy to be on the list, but the higher we are, the better.
Yeah.
But the article with Forbes started out with a basically calling Telluride the alpha of all mountain ski towns.
Yeah, I had read that. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the nicest accolades we could have for the community, and there's a reason for it, that collectively we care very much about the authenticity and the character of Telluride, and we work hard to preserve that.
We do, yeah. We so appreciate all the visitors, and it is such an amazing community to be a part of. And it's really, it's always reassuring when you know that according to humans and robots, you're one of the best ski resorts around.
And I think that's a great way to summarize that, the Forbes is a bit an algorithm. The computer can push it out, right?
Yeah.
And the Condé Nast is, readers and people who experience Telluride saying it's the best. So it's a great way to think about that. Is we had a robot and people make the same decision. So it's wonderful.
Yeah. And let's talk about some recent accolades that you received as an individual. I mean, inducted into not only the Colorado Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame, but now, which you'd been a part of for 9 years, it sounds like, but recently inducted into the USA Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame. So what a treat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very humbled by that honor. I was actually elected a couple months ago. There's a process where different people are nominated for the U.S. Ski Hall of Fame, and then you're elected. And the induction ceremony is actually on April 6th in Salt Lake. And Bodie Miller was also elected, and Andrew Wybreck, and both of those guys, I've seen them win Olympic medals in person, and it's going to be fun to share it with them. And then another close friend, Tom Kelly, that was the communications and PR director for the U.S. ski team for 30 years, is being inducted. So, fun to share that honor. It's unusual for someone who works in the resort side to be inducted. There's a lot of names we all know, incredible ski racers over the last 50 years that are very much a part of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame. I should add a few snowboarders in there as well. And then a more select list of people that have worked in the resort side of the industry. So,
awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks.
And speaking of another local star, the ever-famous Gus Kenworthy, we are going to head over to our Retro Ride program with a 2014 clip of Gus Kenworthy from Native Son.
I'm Gus Kenworthy. I'm 23 years old. I'm a professional free skier from Telluride, Colorado. Telluride is a destination. It's definitely not a stop along the way. It's a small town right at the end of a box canyon, just kind of surrounded by mountains. Really small community, about 2,000 year-round residents. It's really outdoorsy. People are adventurous, into just kind of activity, skiing, hiking, biking, whatever it is. So it was just an awesome place to grow up, and definitely set the stage for me to be a professional skier. I feel very fortunate to have gotten to grow up in Telluride. I mean, for me, the best thing about Telluride is just the people. Telluride has an awesome community. It's small enough that you kind of know everybody, and that's sort of a good thing and a bad thing. But it's awesome. I mean, I have a lot of great friends that I think are really going to be lifelong friends that I grew up with there. We'd ski, we'd make little videos. I think that was really kind of what sparked my love for skiing in the first place. Having a group of friends that I was out there with all the time, constantly pushing each other. And I think that kind of camaraderie and that friendship is really sort of what sparked my love, and definitely what kept me striving to get better. One of the coolest parts about growing up in Telluride and getting to go to school there is that during the winter season, there's a ski PE program. 2 days a week, you get to leave half day and go and ski with your friends from class and the kids that you're in school with, which is crazy. So instead of a traditional PE where you go and run around the court and play dodgeball or whatever, you get to go and actually go out on the mountain and ski. So from a young age, I was always able to kind of ski in the park with my friends on school days, which was insane. That's why I love skiing so much, is because of the connection that I had with it from an early age, and that has so much to do with my friends and like my brothers. And I mean, Telluride's one of the unique towns where it's actually a town at the base of a ski resort. You can literally ski into town. The high school is a 5-minute walk to the mountains, so it's really unique in that aspect. I started competing when I was like 13, and then, I don't know, things just started to build.
Gus Kenworthy coming into the bottom jump with the dub 12 blunt, puts it down. Yes. That was one of the sickest runs we have seen on this course.
Last year, made the Olympic team and was in Russia, got a silver medal, which is probably kind of like the climax of my career at the moment. It was crazy just kind of the support and the reaction that I got from the town. I mean, I came home after it to Denver, and my dad was like, you have to come back to Telluride, they want to have a parade for you. I was sort of nervous going to it, and I showed up, and it was literally like 5,000 people. Like, the street was flooded. I've never seen more people in town in my life. They honored me with like a street in town and a lifetime ski and golf membership, and it really just kind of goes to show me how much the community has support. Not only for me, but just for all the kids that come from there. I mean, they say it takes a village to raise a kid, and I feel like Telluride's definitely a prime example of that. Skiing professionally has allowed me to travel to a lot of incredible locations and ski all over the world, and despite all of that, I still love being able to go home to Telluride and ski the mountain that I grew up on. The terrain's awesome, the people are awesome, and it just feels good to come home.
Exciting times in 2014 with Gus Kenworthy, an Olympic medal winner, born and bred here in Telluride. Well, Telluride TV has over 30 years of archival video records, and that was some of them that you just saw on the Retro Ride. Everything from community events to the 4th of July parade to lip sync and tab fashion shows, children's theater, and festival interviews. Now, if you have any Retro Ride videos that you'd like to get on Telluride TV, just email us at tim@telluridetv.org or tag us at Telluride TV on social media. And now here I am with the lovely, the talented, the pink besweatered Denise Mongan of Beyond the Groove and Club Red. Denise, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And so let's talk. We always, with the guests in the show, we always say, how did you get to Telluride and what have you been doing? I know a little bit about this because I had your lovely children in school.
That's right. You did. Back in the day.
Back in the day. But you, maybe even back farther in the day, came to Telluride for some reason.
I came to Telluride in 1985.
Wow.
So 33 years ago now.
For what?
Well, I was traveling around anyway. I had lived in Breckenridge and Boulder, and then I went back to Ireland, and then I went to Switzerland, and then I came to Telluride. So it was a time of moving around in my life, and then I moved to Telluride in 1985, and so.
What made you stay? In 1985, not a lot to do. Tennis, movies,
Didn't play tennis.
No.
Skied.
Skied, okay.
Fell in love.
Yeah.
You know, built my family, built my life, and it's been very good to me.
Well, we love that you're here, and we love what you're doing. So tell me a little bit about Club Red. Club Red is a thing that you started a little while ago up in Mountain Village to bring live music to Mountain Village. So tell me a little bit about that.
We opened Club Red in March of 2014, so almost 5 years ago now. We've done over 65 shows in those 5 years, and it's a club in the Telluride Conference Centre. So I love music. I've worked the festivals in Telluride since 1986. I've worked every music event that's been in the town park since 1986. A variety of different jobs, from organizing the trash crew to actually booking the talent, depending on the festival. And I really enjoy it. And I was asked if I would be interested in bringing music to the Mountain Village. And so in August of 2013, we stood in the Telluride Conference Centre, and I thought, yes, I would, but this is a 1,000 person venue. You can do this. You can do this 2 or 3 times a year if you're lucky. And I had been in the conference centre only a couple of times where that wall was put in, and it's a whole different format.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I talked to them about that, and we came up with the idea of, you know, almost a pop-up club, really. And it was designed and put into motion, and we opened in the following March with Blitz and Trapper. They didn't know they were the first show.
They didn't know? That's how stealthy the club was. If you wouldn't know, I have to say, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know from the outside what this thing's going to look like. And if you've been in the conference center, you know, if you've been to the AIDS benefit or anything like that where they use the entire thing, like the club is really very much a pop-up club. You sort of go in the back and then there's a whole bunch of tables and some really beautiful lighting. You guys have done such a great job. You wouldn't know that you're sort of, you know, squeezed into the back there of a giant 1,000 person conference center.
And we use a different door. And, you know, the lighting, the furnishings, the risers, the bar inside, and then we ended up, or not we, but a sound system was purchased. So that was a big move maybe 2 years later, which was a great show of support. Telluride Ski and Golf Company and TMVOA are really great supporters of Club Red and have been from day one. And so we, you know, it just continued to grow, and we have a variety of musicians.
And tell me about your variety of musicians, because I know Blitz and Trapper. I think they're a great band. They're a great indie band that I don't think ever would have come to Telluride were it not for you, right? Originally booking them at Winefest or something.
Correct.
That's right. Originally at Winefest, I remember seeing them. But then there's all these other bands that have come through. So tell me about some of the bands that have come through.
Well, all kinds of genres, different genres. You know, it's a matter of knowing music and knowing your market and knowing what people want. And the nice thing about Club Red is that it can be formatted from a small, you know, 400 person capacity, which is not that small. That's quite a few tickets to sell.
Yeah, that's right.
Up to, you know, the 950 size. And so we've had, you know, Blitz and Trapper, Deer Tick, and Mattis Yahoo were our first shows in 2014.
Just throw some of those names out.
Yes, but we've since done, you know, we had Dwight Yoakam in 2016, STS9, Michael Franti. So there's some of the bigger names we've put in, but we continue to, you know, bring artists who haven't been here, artists that I like. Artists that are emerging. That's really where my passion lies, is the upcoming artists.
Not all of them having proficient mandolin skills, which is
correct.
Which is the normal thing here in the Valley, which is lovely. I mean, bluegrass is a lovely genre, but you brought a lot of these indie bands and these folks that you're naming as singers, songwriters, those kind of things. A person like Dwight Yoakam might not get a stage here unless you, of course, build it in Mountain Village.
Yes, and you know, mixing up the genre is important. But you know, also you have to book what people want, and like the Motet is an example of that.
Yeah,
this
the Motet's great.
This is the 5th year the Motet will be playing at Club Red. You know, and now of course they sell lots of tickets. I think last year they sold 600 tickets. You know, but I will. You know, I'm so proud of Devendra Banhart, for example.
Yeah.
And getting him here. And so I just kind of follow my passion and what I feel is good music. You know, that's what it boils down to. It's not really an issue of genre. It's an issue of good music.
And speaking, and you know good music, I know you do, because we've listened to your music for years. So speaking of following your passion, Beyond the Groove. Tell me a little bit about Beyond the Groove. What's that all about?
Well, Beyond the Groove is my music production company that books the talent. So I set that up in 2014 when we were setting up Club Red, maybe a little bit before it. So that's my business.
Okay.
And Beyond the Groove books the talent at Club Red, and then for the last 2 summers we've been putting on shows in the Heritage Plaza on Friday nights, Free Music in the Mountain Village on Friday nights.
Oh, that's right.
And Beyond the Groove books those as well.
That's great.
So
if we wanted to use Beyond the Groove for something to book some music, we could contact you?
That's me.
Okay.
I am Beyond the Groove, Colin.
As always, Denise, you're Beyond the Groove. And then tell me a little bit about some events that might be coming up at Club Red this year.
Well, we have 4 shows announced, and then we have a couple more in the works for March. Mm-hmm. So on December 27th, we have Corey Henry and the Funk Apostles. Mm-hmm. And
I don't know what that is, but it's an amazing name.
Corey Henry?
Yes. I want to go to it.
Well, Corey Henry subscribes to what I call, or is called, the Nazareth syndrome in the music business, where an artist goes away and is quite popular somewhere else before he comes back. Corey Henry's very popular back where I'm from.
Nazareth syndrome.
Isn't that funny?
Did you make that up?
No, I did not.
Okay. That's amazing.
He's quite popular in Ireland and England.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been aware of him for quite some time. He also played at the Telluride Jazz Festival this summer. He's quite a protege. Mm-hmm. He's he has been playing piano since he was 2. Mm. When his mum was in the choir, and he started to just pick the notes and play the music.
So he's a guy we want to catch.
Absolutely. Okay. And he played in the Apollo Theatre when he was 6. He's got 3 Grammys, and he plays the Hammond B3.
Okay.
And he's very lively. For a funk musician, he sings a lot. It's not instrumental. He sings a lot, does covers, very lively. That's December 27th. It's our holiday show. Great. Then we have a funk weekend in January, which is the Floozies on Friday, January 11th, and the Motet on January 12th.
Don't miss either one of those bands. That's right.
So, and we have a tickets. You can go to one show, or if you go to one, you get a discount on the other. So we have a weekend special for a little funk.
And what else is going on?
And then on February 5th, we have JJ Gray and Mofro.
Great.
So that's an artist I've been writing for a long time. I mean, the artists I can go back years and years of threads of persistent asking.
Yes,
would be a nice way to put it. Yeah. So that's our February show, and then we'll have probably, I don't know, two or three other shows. Great. A few things in the works. We'll see what I get. It takes a lot to get our timing, the band's timing, all the pieces of the puzzle together to actually secure and confirm a show. Yes. And then run with producing it.
But once they're secure, all you got to do is buy some tickets and
get there. Right.
That's all you have to do. How would they do that?
ClubRedTelluride.com.
ClubRedTelluride.com. Denise Mongan, thank you so much
for
being a force for amazing music here in the community, and thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Let's have her over to Barbara. She's going to do some yoga with us. I believe it's crow pose. Hit it, Barbara.
Welcome to our mini yoga series in beautiful Telluride, Colorado. My name is Barbara Glansnick, and today we will be moving from a squat position into Bakasana, or crow posture. This is a very fun arm balance that you can really easily play with. This mini series is really designed to give you some easy stretches, some easy poses that you can do throughout the day, especially when you don't have a lot of time. As always, I really emphasize to focus on the breath, so inhaling and exhaling through the nose only. Also, really be mindful where you are today and honor how your body feels today. Okay, let's get cracking. So come to your mat and place your feet wider than your hips. Make sure that you turn your heels out, toes in. Then sit down as much as you can and just stay here for a couple of breaths. Really feel the heaviness of your seat. Try to ground the heels, releasing the lower back here. Okay. As you can already see, my knee and shoulder, or top of my arms, are really, really close together. This is what you want to achieve in order to move easier into Bakasana or crow posture. So, once you're ready, Again, you're gonna sit down and press your knee towards your armpit. Then you're gonna come onto your tippy toes and place your hands on the mat. Then you gotta trust yourself that your arms are strong as you lift the seat and slowly, slowly, slowly bring one foot up and then the other one. And straighten the arms if you can. Suck the belly and gaze forward and breathe for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale, bring the feet down. And if you didn't manage to lift up, just try again. Just trust in the journey. One day it will come. Thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste.
Thanks, Barbara. That was awesome.
I think if I tried the crow pose, I would just roll forward.
Yeah.
Is that how you get out of it?
It's called the face plant.
The face plant. Okay. That's maybe a different one. It's the holidays here at Telluride in Mountain Village, and we have a whole bunch of different things to do. They've been going on all month. We had already the markets. Did you go to any of the markets?
Oh, yeah.
We'll have the local craftsmen and artisans making things, and it's very, very nice. This last weekend was the Mountain Village Holiday Prelude, and I got to do something very special. I got to be part of the crew of Santa and his elves.
Were you Santa or the elf?
Well, I am not Santa Claus, obviously. I don't live in the North Pole, Alyssa. So I am a little helper, though. So I got to be one of the elves. And one of the little girl that came up, there's a whole bunch of beautiful stories there, but there's a little girl who actually brought her entire Christmas list with her.
Yes.
And we read it out, all the backwards lettering and everything like that. It was very, very cute. And then Santa, of course, took it off to his North Pole. It's a wonderful event for the community, and it happens every year. And speaking of community, Telluride TV is a public access channel that depends on public support, and we want to give a shout out to a few of our most generous supporters, the towns of Telluride and Mountain Village, the Telluride Ski and Golf Company, and the Telluride Foundation.
And now we're going to go to Teresa from the museum to give us the Miner's Minute.
Hey, this is Teresa at the Telluride Historical Museum with your Miner's Minute. We are in the holiday spirit here at the museum and are officially open for the season. In the past, holiday celebrations varied by cultural group. Traditionally, Italian Catholics in town celebrated Santa Lucia on December 13th. Children would leave out oats or other food for St. Lucy's donkey, and in the morning they would wake up to fruit, candy, and possibly a present or two. The entire Finnish community celebrated Christmas together at Finn Hall, which is located on Pacific Street. Parents brought all of their children's presents and put them under a communal Christmas tree. Children would perform memorized passages of Finnish, and after a traditional meal, Santa Claus would enter the hall with bags of candy and fruit for the kids. Make visiting the museum part of your Telluride holiday tradition. We're open Tuesdays through Saturdays, 11 to 5 p.m., and Thursdays are always free for locals. Thanks, Telluride TV.
Thanks a lot, Teresa. That was a new Miner's Minute from the Telluride Historical Museum. Guys, if you're in for the holidays, please take the gondola over into Telluride if you're in Mountain Village. And if you're in Telluride, just walk right up the street there and visit the Telluride Historical Museum. They've got a lot of cool stuff, and it details the entire history of the region. It's a really, really cool museum. Well, almost live
is almost over.
But if you missed any part of the show, never fear. It airs morning, noon, and night on Telluride's channel 1304 or Mountain Village's channel 12.
And you can always catch us on Facebook or YouTube at Telluride TV.
After the credits, stick around for a special Jamcast. It's the Motet at Mountain Village's own Club Red. See you next week.
I need to see those hips moving a little bit more, y'all. floor. Drop your hip, baby. Sing through the dip, baby. And we can glide straight out of the door. It's our time, oh, and no one's gonna stop us shining on. Won't you be my supernova? Come on and be get close, shining on. I wanna be your Casanova. Let your love take over. Let it go. Anticipate feeling nuts and taste. You want some liberation? Give it up. Oh yeah, accelerate. Oh, put the pedal to the floor. Speeding up, but you want more, and I won't stop. Hell no. We can fly past the mountains in the sky. Drop your hip, baby. Sing through the dip, baby. We can ride this rocket ship all night. It's our time, and no one's gonna stop us shining on. Hey, won't you be my supernova? Come on and be get closer, shining on. I wanna be your Casanova. Let your love take over, shining on. Won't you be my supernova? Come on and be get closer, shining on. Come on now. I wanna be your Casanova. Let your love take over, y'all. Blasting up to the sky. The moon and the stars pass us by. In all of the galaxy. There's only your majesty. Come on and take it to the stars, show me boy. Blasting off to the sky. The moon and the stars pass us by. In all of the galaxy, oh my celestial queen, there's only your majesty. Come on, G, don't hurt now. It's feeling good to me, y'all. Does it feel good to you? Now I think we need to dance together. Two step, come on, say. We all move as one, come on. Y'all move so damn good. We're going to let this band take over for one.